Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. What if we're living in a zoo? What if the entire human race are basically subjects of a zoo? And the people that are overseeing this zoo are not really people, but they're extraterrestrials of non-human intelligence. Some beings from other worlds that decided, you know what, we're going to use this planet as a zoo. Or the main attraction is this human race. You got to see this to believe it. What if that's what's going on? Might be. I mean, there's something here, and they don't seem like they intermingle with us too much. They like to remain hidden, and everything's secretive about them. The governments don't want to talk about it. They're embarrassed about something here, right? So what if that's the case? They just don't want. The reality of the situation is we are basically no different than the animals that we go see when we visit a zoo or a nature preserve, or like an aquarium. We go to an aquarium, and there are all this different marine life in there we get to see, and that we've captured, and we get to look at it and be amazed by it. Maybe that's what's going on here, right here with us, with the human race. And when these creatures look at us, they think, wow, wow, isn't that so cute? They have their own little zoos. Oh, look at, they're fighting again. They're fighting again. They're dropping bombs on each other again. Ooh, they're killing each other again. Ooh, this is so fun. Look at them. Look at them. We can't interfere, though. What if that's what's going on? What if this whole thing, right, is nothing but a zoo? And then sometimes they, when you hear about alien abductions and all that, they come in, they're interested in us. Maybe it's just medical students, they're doing some genetics research. Maybe that's what it's all about. And yeah, they are creating hybrids and stuff, but it's all part of the fun that they're having here. I mean, we are in a zoo, but the problem is we are prisoners in this zoo. It's a hypothesis. It's something that's been talked about in the past. Hypothetically, of course, all of this is hypothetical. And I dug up some information on this. Basically, for one thing, this might explain the Fermi Paradox, right? The Fermi Paradox was, this Enrico Fermi back in the 1950s posed the question, hey, if there's aliens here, where is everybody? Well, I still think, I say today that the Fermi Paradox, it doesn't apply anymore. I mean, we have proof that shows that there's some presence here among us. Obviously, the presence doesn't want us to know about them, doesn't want us to see them, doesn't want us to hurt them, right? They actually act like we're animals, like wild animals. I mean, if you run into one of these creatures out while you're out and about, how many different cases have we talked about on the show where people become paralyzed somehow? Just the same way that we would paralyze an animal if we wanted to study it. Same thing. So it could be, right? But the zoo hypothesis proposes that advanced extraterrestrial civilizations know about us but choose not to interact, either to avoid disturbing our natural development or for their own purposes, like observing us as if we're in a zoo or a nature preserve. Yeah, that's true. That's what it could be, and that's how it would be. Yeah. And so what does that mean? I mean, we are being intentionally avoided or quarantine. Humanity is being observed passively, much like animals in a controlled ecosystem. There may be rules of non-interference akin to the Prime Directive in Star Trek. And what would be the top attraction? You have to ask yourself that question. From a speculative standpoint, the complex behavior of human beings. Just look at how we are. I mean, obviously, if you're an intelligent race from some other world and you find this planet and you see the state of where we are as far as evolution is concerned, you're going to be fascinated by this because you'll be looking at this and wondering, well, but I wonder if this is similar to where we were at one point. Yeah, there is a lot of complex behavior. I mean, humans display a rare combination of tool use, culture, art, violence, right? We got plenty of violence, cooperation, technology, self-awareness. Another thing that would be of interest, why this would be a top attraction for creatures from other worlds would be the rapid development of the human race. And in just a few short 1,000 years, right? Humans have moved from stone tools to digital networks and nuclear technology. And of course, we have a lot of emotional depth and storytelling ability. Traits like love, war, music, myth, and even religion could be deeply fascinating to an alien race here, using this, who view this whole place as one big giant zoo. to an advanced intelligence, we might be a case study in intelligent evolution, a primitive but promising species on the verge of joining a wider galactic community or possibly destroying itself, which seems like, well, we've been leaning into that direction more recently, as we all know. An ethical dilemma. Do they intervene to help study us objectively or protect us from knowledge we're not ready for? Well, I think they better protect us from some knowledge that we're definitely not ready for, because it seems like if we had knowledge of certain things, of some of the stuff that they're obviously capable of doing, I'm sure that we would use it with ill will in mind. There's just no doubt about it. In fact, I believe that that's the entire framework when it comes to the cover-up. I mean, it's going to be used for ill will at some point in the future by whoever successfully reverse engineers any of this recovered technology first. And here's some supporting and critical thoughts with regard to the notion that this might be a big zoo. The lack of open contact could suggest an intentional silence or hidden presence. Yeah, well, obviously the lack of open contact is very understandable. I mean, just look at the Las Vegas alien case. I mean, the 3 people in that family went traipsing in the backyard after those aliens landed there, and all of them were armed and ready for action. All of them had handguns, and they're seemingly ready to use them. Obviously, they did not use them, thankfully. Because I don't know what would have happened. Maybe not good things, probably. Also, reports of UFOs, UAP, or alien abduction cases may be interpreted as signs of hidden observers. Well, of course, that's the case. There's no question about that. Earth's isolation in a relatively unremarkable part of the galaxy could be by design. Yeah, that could be the case, maybe. And of course, from the skeptic side of this, there is no concrete evidence for ET visitors or observers. But I have to, that's what they say, but they're just not paying attention. Then obviously, as I've stated many times here over the past 14 months, we now have that absolute proof. And as far as I'm concerned, that proof was already there before the Vegas case. I mean, when you look at things like the Ariel School or the Turkey UFO incident, those cases right there, amongst many other instances, right, of alien encounters / UFO encounters, there's been enough evidence out there to show that there's something here, and you're just being stubborn by not accepting it at this point. Other skeptical views might be the hypothesis assumes motivations and ethics for beings we can't yet understand. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we understand them at all, but that doesn't mean that should not discount the possibility that we are living in a zoo, possibly. It's ultimately untestable. If they're hiding, how can we confirm their existence? Well, it is. I mean, you can't test this. I mean, obviously you can't. I mean, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna test it? I mean, the only thing is here's all we can say for sure is that there is something here, and they are interacting with humans for some reason. We don't understand why. They do abduct people, and they are obviously interested in our animals. They mutilate them with regularity. It seems over the decades, cows have been mutilated. Been found mutilated how many times over the last 50, 60 years? It's never stopped, and no one's ever been caught. That's because the creatures, not people, the beings responsible, right? They just have technology that exceeds anything that we have, so we're incapable of catching them. That's what it is. We could know that they're responsible, because I know that they're responsible. Not in all cases, of course, but in some of the cases where in some of the cattle mutilation cases where it happens very quickly, where a cow is healthy and the very next day it's completely drained of blood, and there are surgical laser incision marks on them throughout the entire body. Tongues are removed, udders are removed, anuses are cored out. I mean, it's just eyeballs are removed surgically. I mean, obviously it's not us doing it, so who else is doing it? It must be some other sort of intelligence. So obviously the aliens that people have been talking about for all these decades, that's who's responsible. Yeah, the zoo hypothesis, though, unfortunately, it's not provable, but it is logically consistent with certain patterns of human experience and the Fermi Paradox. While it remains speculative, it invites important philosophical and ethical questions. What does it mean to be watched but not contacted? Are we ready for contact? I would have to say sometimes I don't think we are, even though we're definitely not. I've said this before. I don't think that any of us are ready to sit down and have a conversation with any alien creature in your living room. I don't know if that would be something anyone would be interested in doing. It'd be rather scary, I would imagine. But I mean, if you were to build up that idea in your head, well, I'm going to have a conversation with an alien, and you knew it was coming, rather than some surprise visit in the middle of the night, maybe it'd be a little bit easier to handle, I think. Anyway, would we treat another species the way we think they're treating us? Well, look at the way we treat other things on this planet. Look at the way we treat other animals, other creatures with brains. We kill them and eat them. Hopefully these beings aren't doing this to us. I don't know. But that's what we do to other animals on here. We do experiments on them. We use guinea pigs that we dispose of when we're done doing the experiments. Hopefully that they view the human race a little bit better than we view some of the animals that we interact with here on this planet. Obviously, it would be bad for the human race if they weren't. And for all we know, maybe it's beyond us just being a zoo, being in a zoo, the human race. Maybe we're an experiment. Maybe that's what this all is. Maybe this is an experiment that started hundreds of thousands of years ago and it's still ongoing. That could be it. Or, I don't know. I mean, it's all of it is guesswork. I mean, I think this is one of the reasons, because we don't know why they're here or what they're up to, right? And the fact that this could be a zoo. I mean, how many different cases have you heard over the years where people, sometimes multiple witnesses, will see some sort of a craft in the sky, obviously something that's not man-made, and they'll see different panels of windows around a craft, and they'll see faces looking out of it. It's like almost as if the same way we would be if we were like in some sort of a craft at a zoo. That's what it seems like. It could be the same kind of situation, except we're the subjects of this zoo. I mean, maybe the Phoenix Lights incident, that's all that was a tour, and there was a bunch of alien creatures on board that big craft that thousands of people saw in the Phoenix, Arizona area back in 1997, and basically what was going on there was just a tour of the human race. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's all it ever is for the most part. All the craft that people see, it's just some alien tour guide showing other aliens, hey, look at these creatures down there. Look at these dummies down there. Watch these dummies fighting over here. Look at these people getting tossed into a cop car for causing violence in the street. Oh, isn't this fun? Look at how they beat each other up. Look at these fat slobs. Look at the lousy food that they're eating right now. No wonder they die to taking heart attacks at 30 years old. I mean, that's what it could be. I don't know. You can't disprove it, so it's just something to think about. Anyway, moving on, I wanted to talk about some of the recent Spotify polls. And we're going to start with, for the episode, Will E.T. Stop World War III? Also, a retired NASA agent suggests people who encountered NHI are crazy. I asked this question: is retired NASA agent Joseph Gutthines lying or stupid about UFOs and NHI? 38 votes for this one so far, with 19 days left. 13 people, or 34.2%, say he's stupid, while the majority, 25 or 65.8%, say that he is lying. As I stated during that episode, I think he's lying. I don't think he's stupid. I think he's lying. Now, in some cases, people are stupid. In this case here, I think he's lying. It's either one or the other, Okay, then for the episode, friendly reminder, there is an NHI presence here and your government has failed to tell you about it. I asked this question: is the NHI presence more concerned about the human race or the planet? 26 votes so far with 20 days left. 4 people, or 15.4%, say they're more concerned with humans, while the majority, 22 or 84.6%, say they're more concerned with Earth. Well, okay, if we're a zoo, right, then they're probably more concerned about us. They don't want to lose that attraction. However, if it's not a zoo, right, then they're probably more concerned about Earth. It's possible, very possible, one of the earliest ideas to come out of the Pentagon back in the 1950s, according to Major Donald Kehoe, was that these creatures that are here that showed up in force back in the 1940s really were they came from a different world, because the world that they were living on was dying and they needed a new home to live, and so that's why they came here. Whether they're going to planning to get rid of us over time or absorb us over time via their hybridization program, I don't know. But yeah, I do think that they are concerned with Earth, and I think that's why they're concerned with our activities with regards to nuclear weapons. I think that is most certain would be a concern to these creatures, because they're here too, and they probably don't want to see us make the planet uninhabitable, because that would affect them as well. Okay, for the episode, Corbell Knapp released military video showing giant saucer / alien gray captured in video examined. I asked this question: do you agree that the latest government UFO video is the best one leaked to date? Now, of course, what we're talking about here was that video that Corbell and Knapp recently showed. It was some big giant saucer that was captured from a United States Air Force platform over the Afghan-Pakistan border back in 2020, and I thought it was pretty good. I said during that episode, I thought it was probably the best one leaked to date. Let's see what the people say, what the poll says. Okay, 8 people, or 28.6%, say no, while 20 people, a majority, or 71.4%, say yes. So it looks like a majority agrees with me on that one. It doesn't make me right or them right. I don't know. Maybe there's something else that I'm forgetting. But I think as far as videos that have been leaked since 2017 as part of these Pentagon video leaks, I think that this one, most recent one, was probably the most impressive looking one. Now, some people have been saying online that it might be a black hole. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It looked like a big circular object. I don't know how any of us can say what that thing is. But it was captured by the military, and it's very intriguing. And they don't know. They don't have an answer as to what it is. So I guess we're not going to know ever, probably. Okay, and then now for the most recent episode. Recently released Pentagon emails reveal government efforts to gaslight the public about UFOs. I asked this question: will Susan Go ever comment on the Las Vegas alien incident? 27 votes so far. Of course, Susan Go is the spokesperson for the Department of Defense. She's the one that everyone sends their questions to with regard to UFOs. And what's the answer here? Okay, 5 people, or 18.5%, say yes, she will comment on it, and 22 people, or 81.5%, say no, she won't comment on it. I'd love to agree with the minority. I would love to agree with it, but I don't see any evidence that the Pentagon's ever going to comment on the Las Vegas alien incident. I just don't see it. I don't think it's ever going to happen. So I'm going to unfortunately have to go with the majority here and say no, that they won't comment on it. They'll never say anything about it, and they'll just, with the hopes that, hey, you know what, we don't say anything about it, well, that just goes to show this guy must be nuts, and anybody who believes this must be nuts, and there's no point even, why would we comment on something like that? Right? That's the kind of position they think they're going to be able to get away with taking on something like that. But again, like I've been stating on this subject for about the last 14 months now, no one's ever going to be able to disprove this. That's your best bet is probably not to say anything. That's why isn't it funny? I think that even the UAP caucus, they're not going to talk about this. They know what they know what this represents. I mean, the people in government know what this represents, folks. They do. Some people in the UFO community understand what this represents. They understand that there's no going back anymore. I mean, the evidence is out there. You could pretend it's not there by ignoring it and pretending it doesn't exist, not saying anything, right? But, at some point, more and more voices are, not just my voice, there'll be other voices, they're going to be talking about this as time goes on. And it's just, we have the proof now that this is over. There's no more debate. I mean, there's some sort of alien presence here, and now we finally have the proof. So now we should be talking about other things, like, are we living in a zoo, maybe? I mean, now we could talk about stuff like this. I mean, that's the next question, right? Now that you know for a fact that we're being visited, or there's a presence here. We don't know how long it's been here. Maybe we're not being visited. Maybe they've been here the whole time, whatever, right? But there's some non-human intelligence here with us right now. So now we go on to the next series of concerns and questions with regard to this. Not debating on whether it's real or not. We know it's real now. It doesn't matter what someone says. I mean, you have people fighting at Twitter. I'm so sick of it. It's just the same stuff over and over again. If you watch this, oh, here's a new picture of a UFO. Oh, I say it's something else. I say it's just a reflection off the sun. Oh, I say it's not. I say it's alien. What does that matter? None of these debates mean anything to me anymore. Like, it's just so boring. It's actually boring. Absolutely, positively boring. Right? What we should be talking about is, okay, they're here. We know it now. There's no question about it, right? There's no explanation for other than NHI when it comes to that case that we've been talking about. No other explanation other than that shows that there's something here. So we should be discussing other matters now, not debating on whether this one's anomalous or just a reflection from the sun. I mean, this is nonsense. It's boring. It's dull. We've been there, done it. It's already over. We have the evidence now. What are we doing? But you go on Reddit, you go on Twitter, all these places. There's all this argument about whether it's this latest video shows a real UFO or not, right? It doesn't matter. Who cares? I mean, some of them are going to be NHI, right? Constructs, right? Some of them will be for sure. There's no doubt about it, because we know that it's real. Right, we have the proof now that shows it, and plus a lot of us have had our own encounters, right? I've had my encounters, and I've talked about them numerous times on here. I know for a fact, I've always known, well, not always. I've known since I was about 8 years old that something's been going on weird. Something's weird going on this planet. That's what I know. That's what I have known for a long time now. I didn't know what it was. It took me a while to figure out what it was, right? But there's a non-human intelligence here. That's what it is. What it's doing, I don't know. That's what we should be trying to figure out, instead of debating with each other whether something's real or not. It is real, and there's nothing anybody could do about that. I mean, some people could try to go on and debunk it. I just heard there was some YouTube channel, Mr. MBB333, a very popular YouTube channel, and he has 675,000 subscribers, and he did a video. Just a live show, actually, and the headline for the show was "What People Didn't See During the Las Vegas Alien Incident." And I really didn't understand this video. I mean, basically, this guy was complaining about his big argument. Now, he had talked about this case initially, like 2 years ago when it first happened, right? He talked about it and thought that the case had some possible veracity to it. And now in this more recent video, what he's done is he's basically complaining of the fact that Angel Kenmore during this incident was he didn't know whether it was 8, 9, 10 feet tall. What does that have to do with anything? And he was also upset because they didn't get one picture of this alien, so he doesn't think it's true now. So what's he talking about? Obviously, he didn't do his research before he did this episode. Obviously, I mean, if he would have came across some of the articles that were on Fox News Digital, as well as so many different videos that are out there with regard to this, not just my channel, there's other channels, other podcasts that have talked about this as well. I mean, he did no research, and he has 675,000 people following him. And so far, that live stream says here it has 42,000 views. So I don't understand what his thinking was. I did send him a message. I left a comment on the video, saying, directing him to a different one of my latest videos where he could watch and get caught up on this. But obviously there's aliens in that video. So he's complaining that the family didn't get one picture. Right? Well, what's he talking about? This is how it went down that night. Okay, the family was the two sons and the father were working on the father's truck in the backyard, in that big backyard that they have where all this other heavy equipment was situated. Right? The object falls from the sky. When the father was apparently inside the house at that moment, he went in the house for something. So it was only the two sons were out there when the object came down from the sky. Right? The object hit the ground, right? There was like a big noise when it landed, when it made the hard landing, right? It was like a sonic boom, according to Angel Kenmore. And then next thing he knows, he's face to face with an 8 to 10 foot tall creature. I mean, he was guesstimating on what it was. He didn't know it was 8. He knew it was tall. He didn't know exactly how tall. He's saying 8 to 10 feet tall. He actually says goes as far as 11 feet when you listen to the full 911 call, which we now have thanks to Chris Lathrop. So then the father comes out, and then not only that, the kid sees this creature and he becomes temporarily paralyzed. The father walks out the back door. He becomes temporarily paralyzed because he feels this force hitting him, right? Then they get out of there, and then they go back in the house. They get their guns. All three of them, the father and two sons, get their guns. The mother comes back outside with them and starts filming them as they go into the yard. They got their pictures. They took a minute and 41 seconds worth of video, and we see the aliens in the video. We could now say that. So he did get pictures. This guy has not done any research, and he made these comments like this. And then they called the police, right? After they got scared out of the yard. They went in the yard with the guns in hand, but then the aliens came at them and they just got out of there. They continued the film for a little bit longer, and then they decided to call 911. We all heard the 911 call, and the police told them, the lady on the dispatcher said in the 911 call, okay, now go in the house and wait, right? And don't leave the house until the police get there, and make sure you're not armed when they show up. That was what they told. So they were told to go in the house. This guy's asking, I would have been out there with my picture, taking pictures. Well, they did take it. They got a minute and 41 seconds worth of video, right? We see the aliens in the video. This guy doesn't know anything about this. So how could he, he's commenting on something of which he knows nothing of, because he's done no research, obviously. I've pointed out how many different instances of alien creatures in this video, right? So he's wondering, he has all these questions now. So he thinks that they made it up somehow. No, what are you talking about? Like it's so, I don't even know what to say. For someone to say that about somebody, about a family, like about this family, basically saying that they're lying when you did absolutely no research, and you just come out, after all this time, it just recurred to me, you know what? I think they made it up. Now, how asinine is that? Think about it. And obviously he doesn't know what he's talking about, because they did get pictures of the aliens. Well, multiple different images of alien creatures could be found in that 1 minute and 41 second long video. It's not easy to find them, but when you look, you'll find them. So I don't know. I'll send this guy an email, I guess, too. I don't even want to waste my time, though. At the same time, I mean, this guy is not taking this seriously. He decided just to make these comments without doing any sort of research. I mean, if he wanted to, right, he could look at my stuff and say, "Oh, I'm stupid" or something. Maybe he wants to go that route. I don't know. Maybe try to debunk it then. Maybe he wants to do that. I don't know, because usually here's what I've learned with people on the internet. There are people out here in the internet. They're narcissists. They have giant egos, and when they get proven wrong, a lot of times they'll double down. I don't know how anybody could trust people like this. I'm just going to point this out too, right? When I'm wrong, I always point it out. If I make a mistake, I'll come back the next day and correct it, right? As soon as possible, I'll make a correction. That's what you got to do. If you're wrong about something, you make a correction. I don't know if this guy will do that, or if he'll even care. And I don't care, to be quite honest with you. The only thing that bothers me is the guy has 675,000 followers, and he didn't do any research before he ran his mouth about the biggest story of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I just want to say this. I'm going to wrap it up here now. I want to say thank you for joining me. Until next time.